Welcome back to Fashion is Art. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we're going to get right into it talking about fashion. To get a good idea of where your mindset is when it comes to fashion, we're going to put these pictures here up on the screen. I want y'all to let me know if this is fashion or if it's not. Start with the first one. Is this fashion? Is this fashion? Is this fashion? The answer to this really does not matter. The idea is we're trying to get a good gauge of how subjective fashion is amongst like a good spread of people. So chances are you're probably saying no to majorities because they're kind of awkward, they're a little tacky, and above all, they're just really doing too much. And for you, that's maybe not your personality, or you just don't really need to draw that sort of attention to yourself. Regardless, it's fashion for somebody. We noticed that fashion has become very different than what it has been in the past. There's been a shift in focus for sure, and it's been impacting the true industry as far as music goes, hip hop, urban community, celebrities, actors, athletes, basketball players. There's really no industry, no vertical out there that isn't impacted in some way or another by fashion. And another thing noticed throughout the years, as new ideas have come out, it's become much harder to build upon these creative ideas as they've already been claimed. And once they've been claimed, they're subject to trademarks, to copyrights, to all these certain things, to where you won't be able to use it without some sort of issue. Looking at Vans right now, they actually added a lightning bolt to one of their more popular Vans shoes that is a straight up copy of another version that was released a while back by, I believe this was Ian Connor's shoe that he took originally from Vans. So we have a copy of a copy of a copy, essentially. Now, that really isn't a problem as long as they're able to get whatever they need to work out legally, but the idea is you're making it harder for yourself to come up with these new ideas to, make something happen for yourself. And at some point, where these companies run into problems is they'll run out of those ideas, and they just either don't have a team behind them that can drum up something creatively, bring something out for them, or it's kind of like, well, let's copy this from this person and we'll see how it works. We'll see how it goes. And then maybe we end up in court, maybe we don't, that sort of thing, which you really don't want to roll the dice on. Think of it as like Jenga. You got all the pieces in, and then after a while, you're a good couple feet off the ground, right? It's getting pretty high and stacking up. There's fewer moves to make. And as the moves become lesser, you're going to have to get more creative in how you're going to get that brick off, right, and move it to the top without everything falling down. Same thing with the fashion industry. It seems that as these new ideas will come up, the idea and need to create new ideas, the same way of being able to figure out new moves in Jenga, right, is what's going to keep you in the game longer, going to help you keep climbing higher. And ideally, you're able to make it without being that person that's knocking over the brick, or you don't want to be the person who runs out of ideas. Now, some of the companies who've done a great job of not running out of ideas, there's been Nike, for two reasons. One, Nike has a very widespread creative team, and Nike owns a lot of those subsidiaries, these lower fashion brands, to where if there's something they like from this group, they can take it and they'll implement it in their own business without having to see any sort of issues in the market or in the courtroom. We've also noticed social media is changing the game. We have the too long didn't read generation that is not really up for a lot of those designs that kind of passed back in the day, made way. It doesn't create enough buzz around them to where people are going to want to explore them or even just get their attention in the first place. I noticed that we hear way more buzz over, some of these shoes that I featured in this opening, but there's a lot of things that go unannounced as far as new releases and really great shoes that people love that are fire, but it's not as eye-catching as some of these other projects that are coming to the forefront that we're seeing today and what are coming in towards the future. So is it more important to have eyeballs on you or to have a good product? Definitely the eyeballs, because at the end of the day, the eyeballs, the engagement is going to drive those sales regardless. You can have a great product, but if no one knows about it, it doesn't matter. Shock value, originality, for better or for worse, is being is overshadowing what it's like to have the right fit with the right combination of clothes on you at the right time and the right setting. We've seen a lot of celebrities posing in more of the iconic, outlandish fashion pieces of the year, while not really having a fit that kind of complements it. You know, we'll be trashing them a lot of times, be like, oh, why is you wearing that? Why is she wearing that? This looks kind of funky. They're not pulling it off, right? The piece is very expensive. It's considered high fashion, but they're just not pulling it off. It doesn't look good. So it's more important to have something that, you know, catches someone's eyeballs, that is much more interesting to the eye, much more alluring, much more conversational than just having a good, clean fit that maybe no one is like, oh, wow, you know, they're not talking about for weeks, but, you know, you look good, you look clean, you know, you got a good stuff for yourself. I believe that's much stronger than the natural appeal for these type of things. There's a lot of celebrities that are naturally just, we already know, are getting paid to wear things they don't want to wear, or even getting paid to wear things that they would want to wear, getting paid to wear Nike, getting paid to wear Adidas. So when all these other brands come along and they throw the bag at them, they're not going to say no for an Instagram post or whatever that may be. Now, just because these boundaries have disappeared and the level for failure has just changed dramatically to where you've got to have something that gets people in the door, that to me does not mean that fashion is trending badly or backwards or any type of way. I think it's just going kind of back and forth, really up and down. We get a lot of great releases every year. We get those Jordan white cements. We get what we were able to see at Paris Fashion Week. A lot of great intellectual, original, technical pieces that are being released that we never would have gotten 10, 15 years ago based off just what we had in store with us to create those things. So we're getting a lot of great work. It's just that it's being overshadowed by a lot of the one-hit wonder type of work. You know, shoes that you'd only really wear once or twice out, or outfits that you only really wear with certain other looks that aren't realistic to, you know, the everyday use, but it's definitely something that's going to turn your head, turn a few heads. Fashion at most is becoming much more expensive. So as it continues to climb in that regard, we're going to see more of this without a doubt. And it's just going to be up to, you know, the people at mass to claim what is subjective and what is not. Because for the most part, you know, a lot of the people who are going to be talking trash about some of the newer releases as they come out, as wild as they may get, are still going to be a lot of people that are going to be buying it. So if they're making money, we really can't be too mad at it. And that's all I wanted to go over with this one here. Let me know your thoughts, though, if fashion is trending backwards, if it's in a bad place, if it's in a great place, let me know. But that's all for today. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'm out. These my daddies make it hurt.